Welcome. Welcome students, friends, and family to the 2015 Convocation exercises of Conrad Grebel University College. I am Susan Schultz-Huxman, president of Grebel. We are an affiliate college of the University of Waterloo, and we relate academically to the Faculty of Arts. On behalf of our Board of Governors and our faculty and staff, I say with much enthusiasm and joy, congratulations on your distinguished achievement, graduates. Convocation is a time to celebrate. Today, Grebel grads, I also welcome and acknowledge your family and friends, those who have believed in you, encouraged you, and financed you to help you celebrate this grand day. And a special thank you to the dozens of donors who have generously gifted Grebel through scholarships and awards that have directly benefited many of our graduating students today. Beginning on page 16 of your program, you will see 4 complete pages of the scholarships and the generosity of these people. So students, how about a round of applause for this supporting cast, your family, friends, and special donors. There are some special guests that I would like to acknowledge today. First, members of the Conrad Grebel Board of Governors who are seated in our audience, including Dr. Geraldine Balzer of the University of Saskatchewan. Geraldine is on the stage with faculty this year because she served as a visiting professor in our Peace and Conflict Studies department. Geraldine? Dr. Douglas Peers, Dean of the Faculty of Arts at the University of Waterloo and Professor of History. Dean Peers. And David Martin, Executive Director of Mennonite Church, Eastern Canada. Thank you. As our students know, the Grebel Waterloo experience is special. Here you have been able to take full advantage of all the cutting-edge opportunities of a world-class research university, the University of Waterloo. While at the same time, you have experienced all the values of living and learning in a rigorous liberal arts college whose abiding mission is to seek wisdom, nurture faith, and pursue peace and justice in service to church and society. At Conrad Grebel, we are committed to challenging mind and spirit while we celebrate the core value of community building inside and outside the classroom. That both and perspective of these companion institutions prepares our people, prepares our students to open their eyes wide, to see in new ways that extend and enrich their educational experience. I am fond of a saying by the journalist and educator Sidney Harris. He said, "The whole purpose of a superior education is to turn mirrors into windows." I love that metaphor. At Grebel, we aim to do just that, to turn an inward, me-centered, even navel gaze, into an outward, other-centered world vista. It's not always a comfortable experience to turn mirrors into windows, but it is a profoundly responsible experience to ensure a superior education. So let us prepare our hearts and minds, our eyes and ears to partake in this celebratory educational window today. Our choir, under the direction of Professor Mark Vornan, will lead us off.
The anthem, Hosanna to the Son of David, about to be sung by combined choirs, the chapel choir and the chamber choir, was a commission of Conrad Grebel University College from composer Jeff Enns. It was generously funded through the Schultz Memorial Fund. Please stand and join in the singing of the hymn found on page 28, All Are Welcome.
Build a house thereof and dwell, and all their
I am delighted to introduce our accomplished Convocation speaker today, Dr. Cheryl Pauls, President of Canadian Mennonite University in Winnipeg, Manitoba. CMU and Grebel are two of the 4 Mennonite institutions of higher learning that are part of the Canadian landscape. It has been a pleasure to get to know and work with Cheryl as a colleague. Cheryl has served 2.5 years as president of CMU. Previously, she was a piano and music theory professor of the school, distinguishing herself as a piano soloist and an active apologist of new music, that is, music without predictable form. Her collaborative research projects celebrate music as a liberal art, which is to say, music, memory, cultural expression, and worship, they all go together. This is what our music department at Grebel and Waterloo is dedicated to as well. Cheryl is no stranger to Ontario. She grew up in St. Catharines. She holds a doctorate in piano performance from the University of British Columbia. She is married to Brian Harder. They have 2 sons, Nicholas and William. Please welcome President Pauls.
Good afternoon. Distinguished graduates, President Schultz-Huxman, faculty, staff, parents, partners, family, and friends. What an honor and delight to be present with you this Convocation Day. This is an exceptional day, a day when we bracket out and hold in abeyance most everyday tasks and cares. Standing apart from the mundane, the sensibilities of this day get burned in our memories, a mark of transition between one form of good work and another. But what really is the sensibility of a graduation day? Its exceptionality is rather strange. We're dressed up in unusual clothes to perform a ritual at which form trumps content. At least so it seems, as a single piece of paper receives far more attention than the really good stuff, all your fine papers and projects, which arguably are more worthy of shared attention than a single sheet of parchment, even if replete with signature and seal. Still, even at the surface, this ritual is a ceremony of double enactment, a marker standing for what's gone on before and speaking into what goes on ahead. As such, this day is less important as an ending or beginning than as an in-between place, a day that enacts and symbolizes all the in-between places that converge on this, like every day. So let's delve into this in-between place and breathe content into its form. We're always somewhere in the middle, somewhere between Easter and Christmas, or else Christmas and Easter, between birth and death, life and life. Always between rightly calling this a tradition and that an innovation, and wrongly naming them too. Somewhere also between joy and sorrow, learning to love more deeply and release more generously. Searching for clear paths amidst a world that at once needs more of this and a whole lot less of that. And even when we're on top of our game in one sphere, we're always at the bottom in some other, in all, somewhere in the middle. To be somewhere in the middle is not akin to being at the center of it all. Instead, it's to have ear and heart perched in the jagged margins and to walk on with hope and humility when God troubles the waters, sometimes with grace, other times with awkward, paltry steps. This middle place is where Conrad Grebel University College is entrusted to seek wisdom, nurture faith, and pursue justice and peace in service of church and society. And this mission is embedded in the muscle of your habits, your gait, your friendships, and your desires. To take us into the middle, I offer 2 accounts, a story and a song. Well, the second one's really a fugue, which students aren't allowed to call a song, but song fit the sentence better. Remember, we begin with form today. President Schultz-Huxman suggested I play something as part of my talk, so I'll tell the story, introduce the song, and leave you in the middle of sound. The story is told in the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John of some 15,000 people, tallying the women and children in the mix, being fed from 5 small loaves and 2 fishes, as blessed and broken by a man named Jesus. There are a few minor differences in the 4 accounts. Only one mentions that the loaves were of barley and offered up by a boy. But each draws attention to this detail: 12 baskets were left over. I'm intrigued by all the attention to leftovers. After all, the guiding rule of writing a short story is to say exactly what's needed and not anything more. That is, focus the middle, the plot, and don't get distracted with dangling threads. And I wonder, isn't this bit about leftovers extraneous to the story and in fact rather sloppy on Jesus' part? Wouldn't the miracle be more compelling without the extras? Even if there were some leftovers at the actual event, why not leave them out of the Bible so that readers through the ages would be persuaded that God knows and provides exactly what we need? And isn't it poor stewardship to have extras? Isn't maximizing efficiencies essential when addressing a serious food shortage? A common take on the leftovers is the call to share in a world of abundance and not one of scarcity or zero-sum gain. Therein, we nurture habits of recycling and reframing so-called marginal matters. All true, yet there's more to glean. I trust we don't hear the story condoning naive and self-serving belief in a God who showers dividends and blessings on any project we start with inadequate thought, prayers, and resources. Instead, I'm intrigued, indeed baffled, that only one would have thought about lunch that day. Sure, Jesus was mesmerizing and people will have stayed longer than anticipated, but that only one person, and a small boy at that, had the foresight to tuck a little food away in his pocket before leaving the house that day is as startling as the miracle of food multiplication itself. This not thinking ahead quality of the crowd is even emphasized in the text. The people are compared to sheep without a shepherd. Perhaps the story's greatest miracle lives in the honoring and trusting of others, especially a crowd not known to be capable of good judgment. For the reference to collecting leftovers from the crowd suggests that food portions weren't rationed. Those serving let go of control and offered gifts without strings attached. Guests were welcome to take as much as they needed or wanted. Surely, somewhere in the middle of this story is a God who loves and trusts human creatures enough to let them make choices for themselves, and who resists a superiority of benevolence. Now, have you ever wondered what happened to the leftovers? Who took them home? Did a few disciples try to pack away as much food as they could in their pockets, or was the food offered to some other hungry group? Those unanswered questions may not quite constitute a cliffhanger, but the story does leave us in the middle of sorts, with something left to ponder. And one last question: why might the story's main body, the miracle's content of a little becoming enough, be lacking in substance? Instead, the middle of the story exists only as made present in gestures of grace, through surrounding niceties of initiation and conclusion, through food offered, blessed, broken, given, distributed, received, eaten, and recognized as exactly what was needed, plenty for all and something left over. Commonly, gestures of grace, such as offering, blessing, breaking, giving, receiving, enjoying, and bothering to say thanks, are regarded as nice things, but somewhat on the side, and nothing but empty rituals on their own. This story offers a different understanding of these gestures. They are not mere add-ons to the core of a story. Rather, the story comes into being as these graces are practiced, and life breathes in their accumulation. This is where today's song emerges. Music consists firstly in the practice of gestures of grace, embrace and release, expansion and closure, beginning and ending, and secondly, of living into the middle of form as form takes on expression. Over the years, I've had fun measuring intensity flows in music, the play of accelerating and decelerating dimensions of many sorts. Of these, faster and slower notes are just auxiliary characters. For instance, what's most fascinating about cadences is how they act doubly. Their decelerating features remind us to rest, to let go and take a breath. Yet there's always a twinkle in the eye, a crack or crevasse, letting through a wave of sound, a ray of light, as it were, an energy drawing us over the cadential marker. This is not a matter of sloppiness or failure to tie up loose ends, but a reminder that closure is less about a firm grasp of conclusions than permission to say, that's enough for today, time to sleep for a while, we'll face tomorrow's joys and sorrows better that way. This description of cadence with leftover energy is akin to how we evaluate musical performance. Music rings true when it draws you into the middle, making you want to pay attention, and in its wake, beckoning you to hear something new, to listen differently. Music draws us into the middle in more ways. Its theory has always kept feet in both arts and sciences, never really accepting the singular categorization imposed by university structures. And in the song I'll play, a fugue, delight emerges through the play of wings and roots. Fugue means to flee and to order with canon. The content of musical experience thus arises in the midst of the play of contentment and urgency, the middle of freedom of discipline and rigor of imagination. To exercise your sensibilities for order and clarity, alongside your capacities to be compelled by wonder and fantasy, I invite you to try counting 3 pulses per measure. Beware, you'll be spun around by 3 groups of 2 at the start. So you may prefer to count measures, 72 in all, and then to ponder proportions. Of course, you won't find 2 groups of 36 or 3 of 24 to be all that interesting. Simple ratios are often overrated. You may notice the semblance of an 8-measure phrase on occasion, mostly when gems of 1 or 2 measures combined with 6 or 7 bar units here and there. I encourage you to count amidst this weave of pitch and rhythm, not to incite a simple equation of order and chaos, but to kindle your habits of embracing and releasing measures of time. For song comes to life when freedom of expression and the order of things practice together and rub off on each other. In practicing gestures of grace, I pray that the bounteous gift of God's story will teem with joy in the middle of all your comings and goings, as they converge on this and every day. And now, with pleasure, the song.
Thank you, President Pauls, for that engaging address, that excess of form and content. We are grateful to have shared a close relationship with your institution. We're honored to hear you speak these words today. We will consider your words carefully. Thank you. I'm Trevor Bechtel, and as Dean of Conrad Grebel University College, it is my honor and privilege to present to you the students who will be receiving University of Waterloo degrees in June. We are honoring them today because they are completing programs or majors that are offered at Conrad Grebel University College, or they have made Grebel their home community during a significant part of their time at the University of Waterloo. As we celebrate their accomplishments today, we acknowledge that they still have academic work to complete: exams, final projects, theses. When that is completed and assessed, they will receive their University of Waterloo degrees. Today is a celebration of anticipation and hope. And we are most pleased to have Doug Peers, Dean of the Faculty of Arts at our university, here with us today, partly in recognition of what is to come. You will notice as we move through this ceremony that there are some differences in each group. I will explain further as we proceed. Students, you are the central part of the academic and community life of Conrad Grebel University College. It is you who have called us into existence as an institution. We are proud to have come to know you during your time here. We value your voices, your plans, your hopes, and your dreams. When you move across the stage to be congratulated by Susan Schultz-Huxman, President, to receive a commemorative gift from Mary Brubaker-Zare, Director of Student Services, or to be recognized by the head of the Grebel academic unit in which you studied, know that all of us who work and support the college are present in each of those gestures. We will begin by honoring the undergraduates who will be receiving their University of Waterloo bachelor's degrees at one of the convocation ceremonies in June. They are from all of the faculties of the university: arts, applied health sciences, engineering, environment, mathematics, and science. Many of the students we honor today were part of the Grebel residential community while completing their degrees at the University of Waterloo, living at Grebel or associating with our community. Some of the students we honor today were in the two University of Waterloo programs that are based at Grebel: music and peace and conflict studies. In addition to being students, these people have been leaders and volunteers, enriching our college, our university, our community. I would now like to ask the first row of students to stand and prepare to make their way to stage. I will call you each by name, and you will then make your way across the stage to be celebrated and to receive our recognition and gratitude. And then to this microphone, which will appear in a second, to tell us briefly about your future plans. After all the students have been acknowledged, I want to invite you all to join me in enthusiastic applause. Talim Atheri.
It's been a wonderful 4 years. I've learned so much here at Grebel. With my degree, I currently have full-time employment, and hopefully in the future, I will be attending graduate school. Thank you to everybody.
Yusuf Alizada.
I'm Yusuf. I just finished my computer science, Bachelor of Computer Science and music minor. Upon graduation, I'll be working in computer science and software development field for a while, and at the same time, I will be writing, recording, and performing my music and see where that takes me. Thank you.
Rosanna Alrales.
Hi, and thank you for all of you who have supported me to be here today. I will be continuing my education at the University of Toronto for a Master's of Teaching. Thank you.
Julianne Bell.
This summer I'll be working for UWaterloo School of Public Health and Health Systems, and I'm very excited to be getting married to Callum Graham in June.
Sarah Burgess.
I hope to be going this year with my degree of English and my skill of directing multiples of people to South Korea to teach English. But if not, I guess I'll be around KW to fiddle around some more.
Christiane Brown.
I will be returning to work at the Toronto Rehabilitation Institute as a research coordinator.
Ben Brubaker-Zare.
I intend to find work for about a year or two, and beyond that, I'm not closing any doors. I may return to school, or I may not. As far as more immediate plans go, I'll be traveling to Israel in August.
Seth Burt.
A week from now, I'll be celebrating my 1-year anniversary to Rachel, which I met at Grebel. And after that, I'll be working at Toyota full-time as a health and safety specialist. Because as a student, I know thing to being safe and healthy, so.
Kate Campbell.
I'm going to be working and traveling for the next year, and then probably going back to school.
Benjamin Carr.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be taking some time off to rest, to learn about myself, and to hang out with my friends and my family.
Jed Charette.
I'm going to be taking some time off this summer. I've got plans to travel to England, Ireland, and Scotland, and then look for work in the fall.
Brendan Cody.
Hi, Mom. Made it. Over the next 6 months, I'm going to be working on my startup company, Boogaloo Bunks, and seeing where the winds take me.
James Cober.
I'll be returning to the University of Waterloo in the fall to begin a master's degree in geography.
Matthew Craig.
I'm going to head up north for a little bit to take a break, and then work starts in May at Canadian General Tower.
Michelle Krebitz.
I'm looking forward to continuing pursuing my startup, Food Not Waste, which looks at redistributing surplus food from small businesses to community organizations.
Jonathan Culler.
This summer, I will start off by road tripping to California with my girlfriend Sarah, and then after that, I'm going backpacking in Central America with my siblings Anna and Andrew, before starting full-time employment here in Waterloo in September.
Maria de Boer.
Hello, I am currently working as assistant farm manager at Nith Valley Organics, a nearby farm, and I continue to work there until I figure out a different way to use my degree.
Hannah Dotsert.
I thank the Lord for providing full-time employment for me here in the area, and I'm engaged to be married to Erin in July, and we look forward to fulfilling the plans that God has for us.
Rachel Molly Dick.
I'm not exactly sure what comes next, but I'm hoping to work on developing my gardening business a bit and maybe travel and hopefully become a teacher one day.
I'd now like to invite the next group of students to stand to make their way to the stage while the first row of students returns. Timothy Dyke.
Hi, I plan on taking the next 4 months off just to relax until the beginning of September, when I will be packing up all my things into my car and driving out to Palo Alto, California to begin working there at the beginning of September doing software development.
Rebecca Erkes.
This summer I'm going to be doing biology research with a professor on campus at Waterloo, and then maybe more school in the future.
Danny Agizi.
Hi, I'm going to keep working as online marketing coordinator for a local appliance company, but more excitedly, I'm going to be developing my starter project, Feed 5, where every t-shirt sold serves a meal to 5 hungry people.
Kiara Elliott.
This summer I plan to drive across Canada and then find a job in September.
Jessica Federau.
I love Waterloo so much, so I'm going to stick around and do a Master's of Science degree in biology.
Jana Fleming.
I'm going to work and travel for the next year, and then who knows what.
Tess Fleming.
I'm planning on going to Western for nursing in the fall and then spend my time helping hurting kids.
John Friesen.
I'll be spending the summer working 4 part-time jobs and having full-time fun.
Michael Funk.
This summer, my wife Danelle and I are moving to London, Ontario, and I'll be working for Agriculture Canada there. And then in the fall, I will start a master's program in geography here at Waterloo. Thank you.
Marina Gallagher.
I will be starting my PhD in historical musicology at the University of British Columbia in September.
Caitlin Gingrich.
This summer, I am coordinating the peace organization Peace Camp out of the Mennonite Savings and Credit Union Center for Peace Advancement at Grebel.
Robert Gooding Townsend.
In September, I will be starting grad school studying the mathematics of diseases and sustainability.
Kenneth Hildebrand.
After taking off this gown, I will be spending some time in Ukraine working with women and children with disabilities. Hi, Mom, I see you. And then after that, I will be taking a quick stop in culinary school to become a chef before I head off to law school. So if you have any daughters or granddaughters that are single, my number is 226-748-3739.
Hoskin.
That's one to follow. I'm going to be, well, I'm planning to take some time off in summer, and then I've got a road trip planned out east, and then I'm going to start work later in the summer. Thanks.
John Hyde.
Hi, I'm going to be starting work in Kitchener full-time and be living here for the next couple of years with my lovely wife, Rebecca.
Hannah Ince.
I'll be taking the summer to figure out what it means to not be in school.
Matthew Clausen.
In
in September, I'll be going to London, England to pursue a Master's in International Relations at the London School of Economics.
Rachel Kruger.
Hi everyone. This time next week I'll be heading to Europe to meet up with my roommate that I've had since second year, and then after that I'll be coming back to school to finish my undergrad.
Stacy Cuppery.
I'm going to be working on campus for the summer and then hopefully going to Teachers College in the fall.
Alyssa Laird.
Hi. In the next year, I'm getting married to Daniel TC, who's also graduating today. And I plan on applying to policing in Ottawa in the fall.
Nicole Lee.
In the fall, I'll be pursuing a Master's of Public Administration at the University of Victoria in BC, and I will also work towards the destruction of the patriarchy, one person at a time.
Sarah Legamat.
So this summer I'm going to be working for a research group on campus, working on a project for the Ministry of Environment, looking at nutrient pollution in the Great Lakes.
Alyssa Lofgren.
This summer I will be starting an internship at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium in Florida.
Mackenzie Lougheed.
This summer I'll be traveling to Germany with an organization called Athletes in Action to do some missions work.
Emily McTavish.
This summer, I'm working at a summer camp, and then in September, I'm going up to Nipissing to do Teachers College, and I have the unique opportunity to live in a convent for my first year of schooling there.
I'd like to now invite the next group of students to stand and make their way to the stage as the last group returns to their seats. Lawrence Marshall.
I'm going to be working the land. Drink more milk.
Ryan Martins.
This September, I'll be flying off to Manila, Philippines to
things, learning the language, culture, and the experience of the poor in the slums and squatter communities, and mobilizing other people to do the same. So if you want to join me, talk to me afterwards. Thank you.
Laura Martin.
Hi. This summer I'm going to be working on campus here at the University of Waterloo, and then I'll be returning to school in the fall.
Daniel Marino.
So, praise God, I got a job in the summer trying to take down some of that debt, and now I'll be starting school again in UFT in the fall.
Aaron Neufeld.
Hi there. In the summer, I will be traveling to Israel, Palestine in May with a group of a bunch of young people, with some from Grebel, and then serving with Mennonite Disaster Service for a month in June, and then eventually in fall, I'll be heading back to my job from Co-op last term in Toronto, doing software development.
Christopher Ong.
After some much needed rest and relaxation, I will be continuing my job hunt for full-time employment.
Eric Otten.
So I plan to travel for a few months, and I gotta find a job still.
Rachel Pauls.
I am going to be moving out in another 2 weeks because apparently I love school so much I have decided to make a career out of it. I will be attending Queen's for their primary junior teachers college starting in May.
Steve Pauls.
I have a few plans, I'm working on a few plans, but mainly I'm just looking forward to picking up some hobbies that are not school related.
Austin Kenner.
In September, I will be going to Georgian College for the Communicative Disorders Assistant Graduate Certificate Program.
Courtney Porch.
I will be taking a year off to work and then possibly travel over to Europe with my roommates and then eventually go back to school.
Ellie Preacher.
This summer I'll be working in northern Alberta, and after that I'm not sure, but thanks for everything, Mom and Dad.
Emma Rothflaub.
Well, after I'm done my exams, as I still have one more, I will be going to visit my parents who are in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and then I will be working for a local organization, Extend a Family, and possibly master's program or work, whatever comes first.
Hillary Sadowski.
Once I'm done my papers, I'll try to tear myself away from my books and reconnect with the outside world.
Then I'll be going back to work as a paramedic and traveling until I contemplate going back to the books for graduate school.
Joe Skipper.
I'm going to be starting full-time employment at a medical startup in Waterloo in May, and then celebrating my first year anniversary with my lovely wife, April, in August.
Brian Scott.
So next month, I'm marrying Rhiannon, and then we'll spend our honeymoon in Newfoundland before I come back and start work for Tiger Cat as a product designer in June.
Aaron Scott.
Thank you, Grebel, for teaching me all about community. And this upcoming summer, I'm excited to be part of Ontario Pioneer Camp's ministry there, and then we'll see what happens next.
Emily Shue.
This summer, I'll be participating in a 6-week mission program called Action to Central Asia.
Sally Sue.
This September, I will be starting a postgraduate program in computer applications development at Conestoga College. Afterwards, I plan to go to graduate school.
Jessica Spatzel.
I hope to pursue a master's in terrorism studies and a master's in peace and conflict studies.
Daniel Tisi.
Well, you all already know, but it feels good to say, so I'm getting married to the beautiful Alyssa Laird, and I will also be attending Teachers College in Ottawa in the fall.
Leah Toes.
After spending the summer teaching kids science on campus, I'll just be heading down the road to Wilfrid Laurier University to pursue a Bachelor of Education.
Michelle Trong.
So I'm not actually graduating just yet. I'll be coming back in the spring term, taking more courses, and continuing on my role as a Don at Grebel.
Rachel Urban Shipley.
I'm going to be heading back to Ottawa to do an events and operations internship at the Nobel Women's Initiative, and then everything after that is a complete mystery.
Jacqueline Dietrich Veraldi.
Thanks, guys. In September, I'll be moving to the Netherlands to study international law at the University of Groningen.
I'd like to invite this group of students to return to their seats. And all undergraduates, could you please stand? not in a choir, you need to go back that way. Friends, family, teachers, let us offer these students our warmest congratulations. Sit down.
The student chosen this year to be the undergraduate valedictorian is Jonathan Cullen. I always wanted to go to a Mennonite school as well as be connected to the world. Studying at UW and Grebel creates the perfect combination that is hard to find elsewhere, said Jonathan in his first original application to Conrad Grebel College. Jono, we are glad that you left your Ohio State home and came north. In addition to being a focused and disciplined student, Jono was student council president at Grebel. He was a Don, recently a Mennonite Economic Development student representative for the college, to name just a few things. His warmth and care for those around him and for the world has clearly endeared him to many people. Jonathan, congratulations on being chosen to speak on behalf of his graduating class. Please join me in welcoming him to the podium.
Thank you, Mary, for those kind words. Dear faculty, staff, friends, family, and most importantly, fellow graduates, it is truly an honor and a privilege to be standing here with you today as the Conrad Grebel undergraduate class of 2015. Today represents a significant time in our lives. It is the ending of a chapter that took us 4, 5, maybe 6 years to write. When we first stepped through the doors at Grebel, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. Many of our adventures started in move-in day when we met our roommates for the first time. Maybe we shook hands or gave an awkward hug. For others, it began in the first music or peace and conflict studies class that we took, sitting beside total strangers. Little did we know that these people would become an integral part of our experience at Grebel for the next number of years. For many of us, residence was our home. We filled the tables in the caf, shared bread at community supper, laughed together during talent shows, spent weekends away at Camp Trillium, participated in Orientation Week and Frost Week events, played intramurals, and helped each other through exams. For PACs and music students, Grebel has been an academic home, a place where professors knew you by your first name, a place that enhanced, changed, and challenged your perspectives on the world. Our time at Grebel has been instrumental in shaping our experience at the University of Waterloo. At points along the way, Grebel might have felt like a home away from home. I know it did for me throughout my 4 years living in the apartments or in residence. I remember referring to Grebel as home once to my family, and they reminded me that my home was in Ohio. Well, lucky for me, I've had 2 homes for the last 4 years. Today signifies the closure of some of these things. From now on, I will not refer to Grebel as home. We are in between, just as we are all familiar with the bridge connecting main campus with Grebel. We are now in an in-between period of our lives. After today, we will look back at our time at Grebel, not look forward to it. Graduates, I encourage you to think back in appreciation for all of the parts necessary that have brought you this success and this accomplishment. The support of your family and friends, the guidance of teachers and mentors, a strong political system, and self-motivation, perseverance, and ambition. I know during my time at Grebel I've learned many things, and I suspect we've all learned many things. How to work hard and study what seems like days or weeks on end, to be vulnerable with others about our insecurities or struggles, to take risks and expand our comfort zones by trying new things, and somehow we have learned how to grow together. So I encourage you to reflect and not forget the last 4 years. Yes, Gangnam Style has come and gone. Nelson Mandela and Steve Jobs are no longer with us, and we survived the December 2012 apocalypse predictions. And when we started our time at Grebel, there was an empty space where the new Mennonite Savings and Credit Union Center for Peace Advancement and beautiful library are now located. But other things have happened during this time too. We've been busy working to receive a higher education, to become planners, engineers, business people, knowledge integrators, musicians, peacemakers, just to name a few. But we've been shaped by so much more. Grebel and Waterloo has been a place of diversity, a place where we have asked questions and had many opportunities to become involved in clubs or leadership roles, a place where we have grown and developed as young adults, shaped by those around us. We have all had different setbacks, been knocked down from time to time, haven't done as well on exams as maybe we thought we did, had personal challenges to work through. But through these experiences, hopefully we have learned from the past in order to become better people for the future. So, what does the future hold? As author and theologian C.S. Lewis said, there are better things ahead than any we leave behind. Better things ahead than any we leave behind. I challenge us to make these words come true, to dream and strive for the highest of heights. We live in a beautiful world full of love, joy, and wonder. We are young and we have long lives to live, but they will not last forever. Friends, go out into your communities that you will continue to build. Dream big, create peace, and follow your passions. I believe in you, and I hope you believe in yourselves. It is in our hands to shape our future. It is in our hands to positively influence those around us in the world of which we are a part. No matter what degree is printed on the top of your diploma, we have all developed skills and abilities that can be applied to create happiness and love. Thank you. Thank you for walking down this Grebel path with me. We have worked together, laughed together, and cried together. Today, let us celebrate these times and know that with the help of many, we have laid a strong foundation on which to build a bright future for ourselves and others. As we sit here together one last time, my hope is that we will never forget the love we have shared, and I hope that love remains between us for decades to come. Thank you.
The next set of honorees are those students who will receive their Master's in Peace and Conflict Studies degree from the University of Waterloo in June or October. These students have been engaged in the pursuit of peace and justice through academic study into the root and practical causes of violence, and they have increased both their and our understanding of how to nonviolently build peace in and through a civil society. They are wearing master's gowns with a special oblong sleeve to recognize their accomplishments. I would now like to ask the Masters of Peace and Conflict Studies students to stand and prepare to make their way to stage. I will call you each by name, and you will then make your way across the stage to be celebrated and to receive our recognition and gratitude. And then to the microphone to tell us briefly about your future plans. After all of the students have returned to their seats, I will invite you all to join me in enthusiastic applause. Anita Abraham.
I have recently become the executive director of Meal Exchange, which is a national nonprofit that works on issues of food across campuses across Canada. And so that's my spiel, I have to say that. I also am working on a book project that takes my master's research and places it in the midst of a spectrum of social innovations across Canada.
Alexandra Bly.
Just started an internship at the Nobel Women's Initiative in Ottawa, and I'm on the board of directors for an environmental charity.
Jessica Penner-Dick.
Hello, everyone. In about 2 weeks, I'm beginning a contract with the Saskatchewan Cooperative Association in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
David Eagle.
Go Dad!
I'm working in the field of international development, working with MEDA, Mennonite Economic Development Associates here in Waterloo, with travels to places like Ghana and Uganda. I'm also looking forward to spending the newfound weekend time with the people you serve, from my wife and my children.
Chris Fox.
Hello, I'm going to be trying to find full-time work in mediation.
Yelena Gulkhan Danyan.
Hi, I'm just finishing up a job at Project Plowshares based here and looking for more work after that. Thank you.
James Jansen.
Man, what a ride. I guess first things first, I'll be moving back to the prairies and then returning to my construction job. where I'll help manage a construction site in Fort Severn First Nation, which is on the Hudson Bay. So I'll be up there for a year or so, and we'll see where we go from there.
Darren Croft.
Hi, I'm currently working on a contract basis for the Food Bank of Waterloo Region, coordinating volunteers, and I'm looking for long-term options in community development or civil society organizing. Thanks.
Wally Muhammad.
With all the peace building that I have learned during the MPACS program, I keep looking for stumbling blocks that I could convert into stepping stones. And I don't mind organizations to hire me from time to time as a consultant to do the same job for them for some amount of money.
Janelle Saldana.
Hi everyone. Firstly, a big thank you to my patient mother and sweet boyfriend, without whom, first of all, I promised I wouldn't cry, without whom I would not be here on stage today. In terms of next steps, I have recently accepted a position as a integrity investigator with Service Canada, and I'm looking forward to the challenge of the real world. Thank you.
I'd like to invite the Masters of Peace and Conflict Studies students to return to their seats and remain standing. Esteemed guests, the 2015 graduates of the Master of Peace and Conflict Studies program at Conrad Grebel University College and the University of Waterloo. Students in the graduate program in Theological Studies receive a conjoint degree from Conrad Grebel University College and the University of Waterloo. Today, we provisionally confer the degree with the authority granted to this college. We symbolize this action by having Jeremy Bergen, director of the program, hood the graduates. In the next while, the University of Waterloo will confirm the completion of all degree requirements and will confer the degree and present the diploma at the appropriate convocation ceremony in June or October. Would the graduates in the master's program in Theological Studies please stand and remain standing? President Susan Schultz-Huxman, I am pleased to present these candidates to you for the degree Master of Theological Studies. They have been approved for graduation by the Board of Governors of Conrad Grebel University College, pending completion of all requirements in their program of studies.
By virtue of the authority granted to me by the Board of Governors of Conrad Grebel University College and the Province of Ontario, and pending completion of all program requirements, I hereby bestow on you the degree of Master of Theological Studies with all of the privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
Isaiah Ritzman. I've recently started full-time at the Working Center in downtown Kitchener, helping with some of their emerging community education projects. Julie Eby.
So now that I'm done my MTS, I'm about to start a revolution to save the world.
Maxwell Kennel.
Following my thesis defense, my wife Amy and I will be moving to Toronto, where she'll pursue a master's degree, and I'm going to work for a year before pursuing doctoral studies. I'd also like to thank my family.
Zachary Clausen. I'm looking forward to taking the summer off with my two boys, Jaron and Micah, to play and hang out. And then this fall, I'll be pursuing a PhD in religious studies at McMaster University. Albus Petker.
After spending my summer blissfully unemployed, I will be pursuing a call to ministry in the fall, which will hopefully result in employment and help my wife put some bread on the table.
Gary Rush.
After this, I'm really looking forward to dinner and continuing on in full-time pastoral ministry alongside my beautiful wife Jennifer and our two boys Jonathan and Theodore. And also a very special thank you to my family who've been so supportive. Thank you.
Rebecca Thompson.
In a couple weeks, I will be traveling Europe for the next 2 months,
And after that, I hope to pursue a role in pastoral ministry, as well as continue my engagement with refugees.
Michael Turman.
I will be working full-time at the Working Center and enjoying spring and summer with Alicia and Cecily.
Heike Gundula Walker.
Yay, Heike!
I want to thank my family. Sometime in the past 2 years while I was buried in books, my son got up to 6 feet. So it'll be nice to spend some time with them, and I will pursue employment, hopefully that will use both linguistics and my theology degree.
Dustin Zender.
Thank you, Grandpa, for the kazoo. Wow, people are doing some really cool things after graduating. I just plan on getting to really know my Netflix account, so thanks for making me feel terrible.
I'd like to invite the Masters of Theological Studies students to return to their seats and remain standing. Esteemed guests, the 2015 Masters of Theological Studies graduates.
With 2 graduate programs, our practice is to alternate each year the program from which the graduate valedictorian is selected. This year, the Theological Studies faculty nominated Elvis Petker on the basis of his achievement and contributions to our learning community. Elvis came to Grebel from Winnipeg, where he received a Bachelor of Arts in Biblical and Theological Studies and English from Canadian Mennonite University. Elvis is completing the Applied Studies stream of the MTS program, within which he served a ministry internship at Rockaway Mennonite Church. Congratulations to you, Elvis, on your selection as this year's valedictorian, and we look forward to your address.
I'd like to begin this morning by saying some thank yous. Thank you, President Susan Schultz-Huxman and Trevor Bechtel and all the faculty and staff at Conrad Grebel for making our experience here possible. Thank you. In preparation for this speech, I consulted an old friend of mine, Gilbert Chesterton, on what kind of words I should share with you on this auspicious occasion. And he wrote back saying this, which I thought is appropriate and I would share with you. Christ did not tell his apostles that they were only the excellent people, or the only excellent people, but that they were the exceptional people, the permanently incongruous and incompatible people. And the text about the salt of the earth is really as sharp and shrewd and tart as the taste of salt. It is because they were the exceptional people that they must not lose their exceptional quality. Excellent is a good marketable word. It's fit for promotional material and recruiting. It's also a word that I would use with complete candor and without reservation in describing Conrad Grebel College and its graduate programs. The classes, the faculty and staff, the facility, the opportunities, even the food, in a word, excellent. But there is a better word, I think, to describe our experience at Grebel as graduate students. It's a word that doesn't lend itself well to promotional material. It's a word that is difficult to capitalize upon, but is worth more than all the excellence in the world. The word is exceptional. I would use this word not to describe the college itself, or any tangible quality thereof, but rather the kind of people that the college brings together, especially its graduate programs. Some of us started at the University of Waterloo and continued here. Some commuted from hours away, regardless of whether all other schools were shut down and some transportation systems due to inclement weather. For some, this was a radical departure from previous studies and a new academic experience, and the accompanying stress may or may not have resulted in a series of true-to-life, hilarious comic strips. And for some of us, this was an opportunity to be pushed beyond the limits of what we thought possible, to the point that even simple problems such as the contents of unlabeled coffee carafes could become existential crises for us. Yet in every instance, at every opportunity, we have consistently demonstrated ourselves to be exceptional, in every sense of the word. Unusual, yes, but also unusually awesome. We have come from all over the world to study at Conrad Grebel College for as many reasons as there are graduate students. Or to put it another way, Conrad Grebel, with its exceptional faculty and staff and remarkable programming, have called us together for the purpose of becoming exceptional people. Into permanently incongruous and incompatible people who live in the world as it is, but with the strength of mind and conviction to see the world and people for what they could be, and to always ceaselessly strive for what is good and just and right. If there is one irrevocable truth that every conversation, every discussion, every disagreement, every meal we have shared together, every time we have laughed together, every time we have cried together, has made abundantly clear, it is that this graduating class is filled with nothing but exceptional people. Strange, quirky, beautifully brilliant and passionate, wonderful people. To my colleagues, to my classmates and my friends, it has been my supreme privilege and honor to work and play with you for the last 2 years. I will always treasure the times that we have shared together. And so to the graduating class of 2015, in the spirit of my friend Gil Chesterton, I implore you, I entreat you, and I challenge you to continue to be the salt of the earth, to never settle for being excellent when being exceptional is what it takes to change the world. Thank you.
Let us offer a prayer of blessing. Let us pray. God of wisdom and knowledge, we have been seeking guidance on how best to shape our lives into vessels aimed to travel along the grain of your universe. We have learned how to engineer, to calculate, to serve. We have learned the workings of ecosystems, of our bodies, our societies. We have aimed our lives towards peace, towards wholeness, towards abundance, towards love, towards you. Bless our education and those who we will learn from and those who will teach us as we move forward from this space. Grant us vision, unity, strength, conviction, and joy. We know that we cannot lie sleeping, but that we are called to clothe the naked, to comfort the sorrowful, to bind up what is wounded, and to become all things to all people. We pray in the name of your true Son, sent to be a true word of reason to a world of empty riches. We pray that we might have the strength and the power to do so. Amen.
Please stand as we sing our closing hymn, Be Thou My Vision, found on page 29 of your program. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Class of 2015, soon you will join a mighty stream of Grebel alumni worldwide. We hope you stay connected with us wherever you go. But first, come back to the University of Waterloo Convocation in June. See the days and times of your faculty in our program on page 27. But also, come back for your Grebel class reunions. Give back to Grebel when you can, and stay in touch. And now I want to thank the members of the Convocation planning team, headed up so superbly by Carol Lichty from the President's Office. Thank you, Carol, Pam, Danielle, Kelly, Allison, Jen, Birgit, Sherry, Rachel, Jessica, and Claudia for advanced planning and attention to so many details that started many, many moons ago to make this event special for our graduates. I want to thank again our Convocation speaker, President Cheryl Pauls, for your inspiring words and notes. to Mark Vornan and the chamber and chapel choirs, and to the special music provided by student Marina Gallagher and instructor Ian Vanderberg. Graduates, we ask that you and your families and friends join us for a reception in your honor back at Conrad Grebel. We have signs pointing the way to our campus across the creek. As we like to say, it's an easy walk. Here's how we'd like the recessional and exiting of this hall to work. After the recessional by the faculty on the stage, we'd like audience members to exit. Graduates, we'd like you to remain right here for a few minutes while staff clear the stage for official group photos. Parents, we will have opportunities for you to order pictures of your child in multiple poses, so I'm told, over at Conrad Grebel in the atrium. And now, this concludes the Conrad Grebel Convocation of the Class of 2015.